because there is something about the reality that what you just hit on is true, that it changes each moment, but there's some part of it that always remains constant, which is like the ground of being, God, if you want to call it that, this universal power source, universal intelligence that sustains that freedom of change each moment, but somehow holds it all together.
Yeah.
And so this concept cannot be accessed with the left brain. You cannot get at it. You cannot intellectualize or reason yourself into reasoning the nature of reality. It's not possible.
I know.
But that doesn't mean, just because you can't do that, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. This is the problem that the scientific world is so blocked by, is that they go, well, I can't smell it, taste it, touch it, measure it, so therefore it does not exist. Well, that's fucking bullshit. Because there's certain things that are true, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that are totally reality-based, that you cannot measure. For example, Michael Tsarian said this, and it stuck with me. He's like, so prove to me or show me or measure to me how you can stand on the same piece of water twice.
Yeah. Look, oh, it's the same lake on the same spot.
But it's always moving.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's not possible. So, whatever the ground of being is, designed it that way, this way. What you just said about reality is that, you know, how you said it, people are hanging on so tight to a reality that does not really exist.
It doesn't. The only reality is right now as it happens, and that's already changed. So there isn't any point in hanging on to 20 seconds ago when I said that, or any idea that could have come up in my head or anything I read the day before. Nothing.
Okay, well wait, let me put this out there, which what you said is true. However, there's still some very obvious component of organization, of order. And that keeps us from spinning into anarchy or just brutality of our fellow man or brutality of the nature around us. So, see, that's what I'm getting at, is that the way reality works is ever-changing, but somehow there's still this element of order or organization.
You mean the God consciousness? God conscious?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could call it that, the ground of being. I mean, basically, the way that I understand it, Giordano Bruno put it, is that all bodies are dissolvable. At some point, they all dissolve away, right? So if you look in nature, this idea of oneness is not tangible. So this is where science will try to find oneness. We look out in nature and name one thing that you can only find one of. Okay, good point. Good. But so, like, is there one human? No.
No.
Is there one bird? No. Is there one tree? No. Is there one leaf? No. Is there one planet? One star? One earth? No. But that does not deny. So if you look in nature, we see the concept of 2 and 3, duality and trinity, as the most abundant, right? That's how you would want to measure reality. But here's what Bruno says, is that there is only one thing in the universe that truly exists as one, and that is the one thing that has no body. And so that is infinity itself, which is intelligent. It's obvious intelligent because it's organized. So this one thing that all other bodies dissolve into, that has no boundaries, that is the ground of being, or God, or the one thing, the only thing in the universe that is truly one is the universe itself, with no bodies, no boundaries. So just because we can't measure it does not mean that it does not exist. It's pretty obvious that it exists.
Yeah.
We know it, we just can't grab it.
Yeah. We can't. It's far greater than any power or concepts that we own. We lack the power and the concepts to get to the bottom of that one.
So
I shouldn't say the bottom, to all sides of that one.
right. So what would you say to that person if you were going to try to tell them that, who's hanging on for dear life to this figment, literally a figment in their imagination that is not based in reality? It is not it's not real. Yet they refuse to let it go. How do you help them?
You don't. I think all you can really do is share your experience. And then if they get something out of it that gives them a step closer to getting there someday, that's all you needed to do. Because sometimes, people aren't ready.
Yeah.
They hear it and they're like, I like that. But the rest of this I can't quite figure out yet. And then, later on somebody else brings some of this stuff up and they get it more. And then someone else brings it along and they get it a little more. And then they're able to piece a couple of things together and maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not something that happened for me overnight, dude. No way, not even close.
That piecing things together is taking the boundaries of their reality and linking them or syncing them into more of a unity.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Universal mind thinking or syncretism is finding those boundaries, whether they exist in your mental body, your psychological body, your emotional body, or your physical body, and transcending those boundaries in order to link to the next deeper state. It's a process.
It is.